Hi folks, it's Mr. Muff. I have a 3 versus 3 for you in the Operation Market Garden mod for Company of Heroes. Today we are playing on... I didn't look at the map. What is it? Somewhere in Normandy. Alright, let's go. See who the players are. I have randomized the starting position to conceal the likely winners. We have on allies Whiskey Pat, who is playing as the Brits, starting with a Cromwell tank. We have James, playing as the Americans, starting with some Rangers, so he is playing as infantry, as well as some other infantry. And then we have Run Zombie, also playing as the Brits, with some rifle grenades and a Cromwell. Over on the Axis, we have Ich, starting with a Geschützwagen, as well as some infantry with weapons. We have Jamim, don't know who this is. Unfamiliar face to me, unless it's a Smurf name or some such. Starting with a variety of things. Some light vehicles, a Schumwagen and a motorbike. Interesting. And Gabo Slayer. Starting with all vehicles. Are these both Stugs? Yes, 2 Stugs and a Geschützwagen, so a bunch of tank destroyers, which, I mean, the Allies are starting with 2 tanks, so, that could be good. And looks like we've got a Blitz officer in there as well. So, that's what we've got. Let's see our meeting engagement. This scout from Jamim ought to, I expect, locate these tanks for Nick's tank destroyers. And Ich starting with the tank destroyer as well. I don't expect these Cromwells, frankly, to have a good time. But, hey, anything can happen, so that remains to be seen. Very aggressive scouting from the motorbike, to see what we can see. We have an over-repair, though, on the Cromwell from the Boys AT Sapper. Advanced repairs, even, that Whiskey has on. A little bit of a cautious start here, if I'm honest. We've got Ich attempting to slip into the back with his pioneers, as he often does, to try to build some tank traps to delay the enemy reinforcements. If I'm honest, it often doesn't really go well. Those typically tend to get caught and or the barricades destroyed, but it's what he likes to do. In any case, we've got all of these rifle grenades in the church here. Now, these rifle grenades, not great at short range. They're frankly better at shooting into buildings. With this flamethrower here, really, if I were him, it would have been, in hindsight and all that, right, but might have been better off to just let them have the church and shoot the rifle grenades into the church, because rifle grenades are just deadly against buildings. Now, these 3 tank destroyers, Stugs and Geschützwagens also, rather infamously have better, like, top machine guns than most armored vehicles. So, with these 3, all firing on the same target, they can, as you saw here, suppress. It's Cromwell not having a good time. That Cromwell also not having a good time. Got a machine gun bunker coming up from James, so it looks like they're going to try to just hold this hill. Now, if they can equalize the territory here, this is the front line, RIP Cromwell. So that's not bad, right? They haven't been pushed back yet, even though the Allied start really is kind of being shut down by a number of counters and or maybe arguably slight misplays. So, Ich's pioneers in the back have gotten busted. It doesn't look like he got anything up in terms of barricades, so I guess they're just going to hang out here and distract this rifle squad until it dies. Got some rifle grenade smoke in here to mask for the rifle grenades themselves to try to deal some damage to these things, but not going to get too aggressive in the face of all these armored vehicles. Look at all of this. And a pack gun for good measure. You do not want to bring on any vehicles as the allies right now. Oh, landmines as well. Get those rangers out of there. Get that AT gun turned around too. Oh no, James. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so here's our first healing station. I believe it's a casualty clearing station, not a triage station. I expect James might be going right now to build a more conservative triage building, since the US triage buildings are more important, but just in time for him to get spotted by these pioneers, so the Axis are going to know where they are. But Hick is gonna just build tank traps on the bridge rather than try to do any damage to these flamethrowers. I expect probably neither of them noticed this being the case. Certainly amusing. Kind of surprised Whiskey's Cromwell is still alive, frankly. Ah, there it goes. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest with Ick here. I've never seen what he's trying to do here really pay dividends. I mean, I guess it's only 2 pop in his opening, but I mean, that 2 pop could be like a bike to do scouting with or something. Or you could build like bunkers with those pioneers, I don't know. Anyway, I do wonder what the half-track on for Ick is for. Let's see how many troops are in it. Ah, we have a sniper. Has this sniper done anything yet? No, it's just been sitting in this half-track. Alright. R.I.P. to that guy. Christ. Alright, I expect maybe some BAR suppression is involved with these pioneers, but I mean, yeah, look at the machine gun on the G-Wagon, right? You get in close, even that just by itself can suppress. Rangers have something to say about it, though. One of these pioneers, guys, might get out. Here comes the Tank Destroyer Brigade coming after this Cromwell that is not looking great. One of these Tank Destroyers is quite damaged, but so is the Cromwell, and frankly in this matchup the Stug has the advantage in penetration. The Cromwell probably, most likely, would bounce against the Stug in any given shot, at the very least a rather high chance. Now, these rifle grenades, rifle section with the grenades, not doing so hot. There was some push over here that looked as though it had been thwarted. Here's an off-map going after Whiskey's mortar. I wonder if this is an RCA mortar, because it's a bit back, but it had 12 kills, so I suspect Whiskey might be playing as Canadian artillery. Sounds like the Cromwell's not doing too hot. There it goes, to the pack. First kill for that pack. See, here's what I mean by the rifle grenades being much better against buildings, right? Guy died, but you saw that how much... Churches are very hard sometimes to do damage to the troops inside, because, like, the soldiers inside can be really spread out, right? And also teleport from the ground floor to the steeple all at once, although it looks like the steeple has had its floor blown out, so maybe not anybody goes up there. But nonetheless, explosions can be really hit or miss against churches, and yet that one rifle grenade did a lot, so... In any case, they're gone now, so it's slightly less relevant. We have a bugged 17-pounder crewman here. Run zombies want to get rid of that, retreat that so we can get his pop back. We've got the classic universal carrier combo. One with the button, one with the Piats inside. So this Stug is certainly going to die. There we go. Veterancy for the sapper team. And we're going to try to destroy this 17-pounder as well, but not before Run Zombie is going to try to make an advance with these rifle grenades, using smoke to displace the machine gun, because that machine gun doesn't want to get pushed, and then we can force the AT gun to retreat, but would not be surprised to see... Oh yeah, no, it's definitely going to be decrewed here. Alright, this sniper... now in action. 7 kills. We missed. How are these Rangers doing? James, how are the Rangers doing? Okay. Well, you know, they just need to damage vehicles, really. Alright, so, infantry push from James. Into what? I'm not sure. These might just be in support of the carriers trying to kill these vehicles, which, okay, fair enough, I understand. We want to kill these vehicles. The Axis don't have any Panzer Elite, so they don't have to worry about... The Allies don't have to worry about any of these vehicles getting revived by a Burger-Tiger. Alright, not able to finish off the G-Wagon, but... at the very least, the UC is going to get out of here. These Rangers, on the other hand, might take some casualties to these Stormtroopers that Nick has brought on here. But they're not going to be able to pursue much further on account of this bow force that Run Zombie has constructed. We now have a Panzer IV without any upgrades on from Jamim that was attempting to intervene on the capture of this pack gun. And could have done so if not for the miss from the sniper. There's some smoke here that I expect had to play in that. And so, regardless, one way or the other, the pack gun was decrewed and now might be retrieved. Looks like Run Zombie did get this 17-pounder back, but has still not gotten rid of the crewman that's here and bugged and just taking up some of his pop. And somehow survived to rocket barrage to get killed off by a mortar. Alright, this pack is really trading hands, and honestly, if the Allies can keep this, this would be huge. Not only because of the number of vehicles that the Axis have been fielding, but just because packs are very strong, right? They can cloak. That's the main thing. Then have that ambush shot. They're quite good. No luck in stealing this MG42, though. Alright, pack gun has been destroyed, so there's that. I imagine the Axis are probably satisfied with that. The sniper destroys the universal carrier, and all of the troops inside die. Wow. That is not something you see every day. This mod, of course, has sort of more favorable casualty rates for units that die inside transports, because otherwise, since you can't reinforce units, unlike vanilla company heroes, transports would be terrible. So to see all of the troops inside just die is rare, let alone the sniper killing the vehicle in the first place. Yowza. Alright, so this mortar is back in action. Or maybe this is a new one? No, I mean, it's got that on it from 2 kills, so then this must be a new one. Alright, is that an off-map? Or an on-map howitzer? I think that's an off-map. Or... is it? Yeah. That was probably the infantry 105 off-map. Alright, so we got a machine gun bunker or just a regular bunker? Regular bunker going up from Gobbo's Lair. Dr. Nick. Don't know what these Rangers are doing, if I'm honest, James. How's our sniper doing? 16 kills? Okay. A little bit slow, in my opinion, but not bad. And he's keeping it alive, which is certainly important. The Staghound from Whiskey, I do slightly question, given the tank destroyer behavior of the Axis so far. But, well, but nothing. It got what might be expected. Though I do believe these might be new. Alright, here's an on-map howitzer now. We got a priest from Whiskey, so he is indeed Canadian artillery. And this might knock out this Geschützwagen. Main gun critical from shooting it in the back. Okay. Oi! Backs up square into it. Don't you hate that? You hate when that happens. Takes out the bunker, too. That might have been what it was shooting at in the first place. Alright, Comet now from Run Zombie. So Run Zombie is also playing as Canadian artillery, which frankly isn't surprising. Canadian artillery is very in vogue in this particular war. I'm playing it. These guys are playing it. Your aunt's playing it. Everyone's playing RCA. Do we have any advanced repairs on to get this Comet a nice over-repair? Over-repairs are very helpful for Comets. They got a pretty healthy amount of hit points, but are not indestructible. Guess not. I wonder what these stormtroopers have been up to. 8 kills on for 2 casualties. I mean, yeah, not bad. Could be better, but not bad. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly fair, I guess, to critique every single unit for not performing to maximum value, but... Oh, alright, speaking of units performing, looks like James is trying to get a counter-sniper set up. Lately, James has been fielding multiple snipers in his companies. And multiple howitzers when he has the opportunity. So I wonder, because this replay is a little bit older. This is from the start of the month, and it's... Alexa, what's the date?
Today is Tuesday, March 13th.
Okay, so it's from a couple weeks ago, which means that's actually not that long ago. I do apologize if you're listening to this with the volume on, and I just commanded your in-house robot. Which means, in other words, what I'm getting as I expect he probably does have more than one sniper here. Now, just general overview of the situation here. The Axis, bit by bit, appear to be being forced back. The Allies have increased population gain. By a relatively small amount, but nonetheless, they're in lead by 1. Good kill on that mortar from the off-map. You like to see that. For the team in question, anyway. But in any case... Ooh, is that the counter-snipe? Who's this guy? Yep, that's the sniper. There's his scoped G43, for reasons that elude me in this game. There we go. So, now James's sniper is going to be able to be much more aggressive. Start picking things apart. It's good that he managed to do that too, because with 2 Brit allies, it's much more difficult to deal with snipers. Ooh, speaking of things that are hard to deal with, we've got some saboteurs in the background. This smoke cloud tells to me, 1, we might lose these troops crossing the bridge if we're not careful here. But 2, yeah, no, that's definitely going off, right?
NCO's reporting they have
So there's one healing station done with. It looks like the other saboteur may have already gotten caught. Let's see, this is Ix, right? Let's see what units he has. 1 saboteur. So yeah, I guess the other one got caught. But there's another bomb that just went off. Was that the Staghound that just died? In that bomb? No. It is. Wow. What was here? I don't know. And now he's going to just have that saboteur sit here and watch the reinforcement line from the right. Now, that's fun and cheeky, but these guys are for population. And the reason for that is because, of course, they can infiltrate deploy, right? You can just click on a building and they'll pop out of that building. But if they are deployed with another unit that can't do that, then they'll just come onto the field like any other unit. And because the minimum population, of course, for a deployment is 7, it needs to be 4 pops, so you can just call in 2 of them and infiltrate behind enemy lines. That's why you always see them in pairs. All of which is to say, this is a very inefficient spotter, right? Yeah, you can see everything that James brings on here, or whoever's deployment this is. I think it's James. But it's at a pretty hefty expense. Alright, we got the Jeep Rush from Ick to try to counter James's sniper. Oh, we had attempted some assassination on these sappers here, and I think they did kill the advanced repairs, so there's that. But got locked down by this machine gun. Quite the range on that, actually. That's... But you know what? Canadian machine guns. RCA weapons have that doctrine ability. You can get that gives them more range. Is it more sight range or more range? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, the stormtroopers are dead. That's the point.
Skirmish had our troops knocking out a Panzer IV.
This Comet, to be honest, have not seen in the action very much, which is frankly unsurprising with the amount of anti-tank the Axis have. And they're trying to steal another one. Got to get that armor turned around, though. Never mind. Yeah. Covering company heroes. Is that the Comet that just died? Did I miss that? Looks like. Yeah. Ouch. Well, that sucks. Alright, here's the bike rush, but they super did not seem to go in the right direction or time. Go past these boys AT. Boys AT, of course, specialize against killing light vehicles. There's 3 on them right now. I expect the majority of them are those bikes, if not all of them. And they didn't even go close to the right direction for the sniper, which is up to 5 kills now. Also, where is the Allied anti-tank, fellas?
NCOs reporting they have destroyed a German target.
I guess the Axis have been focusing on capturing and destroying them, which, with a Blitz player on, Nick, you know, gotta be careful about that. You run out, a Tiger or Panther or whatever comes on, you's in trouble, fellas. Now we got a Firefly to counter... What? What do the Axis have in the way of vehicles right now? Nothing, actually. Maybe the Allies don't really know that, or they're just sort of traumatized by the amount of Stugs that have been in play. But, the fact remains, that Firefly is not going to have much to do right now. The Allies are going to... Oh, well, here's a G-Wagon, just in time. So, here's the thing, though. Like, bringing a tank destroyer to counter a tank destroyer. Not that this was particularly known at this exact juncture, but... it just seems a little bit... Because they're such specialized units. Now, I mean, of course we have seen these G-Wagons and Stugs used to be relatively good effect as a support role against infantry, and sometimes just pinning down that infantry on their own because of their machine gun. But even so, I don't know, just having both of those units on the field to counter one another feels slightly redundant, right? It's like you might as well just have neither one. But I guess it does give you that insurance that you have AT for if the enemy brings on something besides that tank destroyer. Anyway, we've got an assault going on the right by both Ik and Jamim against these holdouts in this building, and James's infantry here is doing a hell of a job holding out with these BARs, this machine gun. Just pinning down all these guys. We got this off-map coming on. That attack is just thoroughly thwarted, so well done, James. Here comes Bikes round 2. Bikes the second from Ik. This is his second anti-sniper call-in. And this time... probably not gonna do. Let's see. I mean, there's a bunch of troops in there. There's nothing to help here. Yeah. Those rifles are just going to absorb the damage. No go here. If he can get rid of this AT gun, which he won't, then that does give the bikes a little bit of opportunity to try to just sort of brute force it, right? But hey, that's not happening, so don't worry about it. I haven't really been keeping an eye on the left. I don't think a lot has been happening on the left, though. Alright, we got some Panzerschreck stormtroopers on from Nick. They do only have one Panzerschreck, though, so not the bane of my existence. Double Schreck storms are the bane of my existence. These only have one, which will reduce their Alpha Strike ambush capability to, for example, completely obliterate this priest if you can sneak up on it. But I suppose they could still be obnoxious. Alright, round 2, trying to find that sniper. I don't see the sniper. Did it die? James? No. Where is it? Oh, it's slipped away. It's not here anymore at all. And these boys, AT, just gonna mulch. Look at that. Alright. Well, that's Sniper counter the second, that has utterly failed. Nibelwerfer on from Nick that we saw earlier, I did not call out, but is there. See if we can dislodge some of this stuff. Get some good casualties against these rifles. Well, some damage anyway. Doesn't actually kill more than one guy. Yeah, only lost one model here, so he can just chuck those guys back to the casualty clearing station, because the triage station, of course, got sabotaged. Speaking of that, that guy's gone. Wonder if he got found, or if he just decided not to have 4 pop sitting in the back doing very little. Alright, Terra Howitzer on from Ick. That, of course, is going to have no effect in counter-battery against the Priest, and the Priest can counter-battery it pretty effectively. So we're going to be looking for maximum effectiveness on the first barrage. Maybe take out the Sniper, if he's lucky. Speaking of barrages, we got a captain on from Whiskey. Might be looking for some Victor target here. It seems very likely if he's running around on the front line like this. Because, of course, he is not a combat troop. He's just got his little Webley pistol. Arce is, of course, also able to get observational capacity through the thing where you can lock down an officer and have them see further, but I don't know consciously of anybody who's ever taken that, because it makes the officer very vulnerable and the benefit isn't really that much. So technically it's possible that that's what they're doing, but Victor target seems more likely. Alright, here's the Priest. We're going after, I don't know what, the Bofors maybe? Maybe there was something there. The Sniper, and it isn't there. Got some Sturmpioneers on from Ick, but these are just MP40 Sturmpioneers, which is just the regular Pioneer MP40. Ah, no, I tell a lie. Ick got the Sturmgewehren on him. Okay, good. I hope that Ick has Zeal. See, here it is, the counter battery on the 105. Let's see. Let's watch it die. No? Alright, well, that's fortunate. Most of the time mine just die in one counter barrage, frankly. Playing as Terra against RCA kinda sucks. Unless you can deal with the Priest through some other means. Ah, here comes another one. From what? Ah, the Victor target, of course. Because here's the captain. There it is. Good use, if I'm honest. Especially getting a little bit of bonus damage in on the panzer. Now he's going to want to get this guy out of here. Don't know what damage that was from, but it's bad. He's got no hit points. He's got 0 hit points. Was just very fortunate that there wasn't a crit there. Alright, well, we're about halfway through the game. Let's see how everyone's doing on population. Alright. Well, first, actually, let's watch this Firefly blow up. Alright. Now that we've done that, let's check population. Not population. Well, speaking of population, actually, Axis are losing it on account of the slight Allied advantage in territory. But, in terms of platoons, right, first for the Axis, Nick is slightly over halfway through his company, 9 out of 16. Jamim is also a little bit over halfway through his company, with 10 out of 17. Where's the other Axis player? Ick. Ick is almost dry, which isn't really surprising. I've sort of been seeing him lose a bit. There's been a lot of casualties on the right side here. Ick has got 18 out of 21 used, including these troops that are just coming on now. We've also got this half-track sitting in the back. What's inside? Another sniper. How exciting. Not the only one with more than one sniper. Again, operating on that assumption from Jim. Please heal the captain, Whiskey. Oh no. I expect he might have just sort of clicked as far back as he could on the minimap to try to get him out of there in an emergency. And they went a little bit further. In any case, for the Allies, speaking of Whiskey, he is a good way through, but still got a comfortable amount left. 11 out of 17. Here's the healing. Whiskey, excuse me, Run Zombie is almost out. fairly small company, 14 out of 16. And James. Ooh, it's got a lot. And James also. I guess that really is just sort of indicative of how the right side has been going. It seems as though James has just been doing better than Ick. Because he's got more than half of his company remaining. Which means, overall then, I suppose both sides are about equal. No, that's not the case at all. They're very not equal. I'm thinking backwards. My brain turned off for half a second there. The Allies are doing kind of okay. Unless I've just forgotten something. Oh, no, they're not. That's right, because Run Zombie's almost out. Yeah. So both sides have a player that's about halfway through, a player who's almost out, and a player who's got lots left. Which means, I guess it's anyone's game at this juncture. 14 kills on the sniper. I guess James is being a bit careful with it. It's survived 2 sniper rushes, or bike rushes by now, so... Anyway, this armored car's screwed. We got an M10 on from James. Wonder what he's going for. Just in time for the King Tiger to arrive as well. Yeah, I wonder what this M10 is hunting right now. Main gun.
German target has been destroyed.
Uh-oh, here goes this AT gun. Gotta get the crew on that quick, but these guys are just gonna die immediately this first shot. Watch this. Okay, well, good thing I didn't put money down on that. Oh, it shot the bike, or it just missed miserably. Yeah, the gun goes too. Ouch. Wait! Mr. Bike, the sniper's right there. Commit, sir. There's nothing here to stop you of substance. 17-pounder will go after the Panzer IV, but the Schwimmwagen go after the sniper. Countersnipe. There we go. Alright, well, there's James the sniper. Done for. Eating a lot of damage with this Panzer IV. I expect either this is a misplay or he's just trying to draw attention away from the bike so the bike can do the thing. Either is certainly possible. But we lose it for the efforts, so if it was the latter, I don't know. That's entirely worth it. But getting a sniper out of the way is never a bad thing. Here's our 17-pounders with their famous high accuracy against light vehicles. Looks like our priest has dealt with a machine gun here, so Whiskey is going to try to nab that. This is an MG42, so a nice grab. Or we could just not, because we have a recon section and a sniper to recon snipe, but that is not going to happen. Should have just gone for the machine gun in retrospect.
Snipers is KIA.
What if these Cyber's Great are doing? So far, basically nothing. Except for scouting, maybe, I guess. They've got no kills. They're just sort of lurking about over here. Oy, 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 look at all this suppression. We do have smoke going down, I think. Not a substantial amount, doesn't look like. Which means it's not cutting it for protecting these guys against this machine gun. Here's our Nebelwerfer. A little bit late. They've already crawled away from there. Looks like he might have actually canceled the barrage early as well. Alright, so if Whiskey gets the mortar up here, maybe he can deal with some of these weapons. We got these 2 machine guns. Alright, so these rifle grenades, not doing too bad for themselves at the start, right? Not many kills, but, well, 5. But pushing stuff off, keeping themselves alive. Here goes this guy. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oy. Wow, look at those MP40s, Vet 2. They're suppressed and they're still just doing all that. I mean, granted, they were at critical health, but even so, suppression is a pretty big debuff in lethality. Alright, so, good news for the Axis. They have equalized the pop. They managed to get a slight advantage in territory, which means they're back up to 40, and now it's even. Goodbye, Devil's Brigade. We hardly knew you. I'm trying to deal with this machine gun, but it's just not happening. And the machine gun naps the kill, if I saw that correctly as well, for a bar of vet. Wonder if this is the original crew. Is this the original crew? It is not. It's a recrew. Oh well, at least he gets to benefit from that for now, as long as he can keep it. By the way, does Nick still have his medic? He does not. Lost that a while ago. We had a bazooka medic for a bit that we didn't see very much of. But, hey, who needs that as long as you can kill things while suppressed with MP40s? Like that. Not that it matters much, because we have 2 walking wounded squads from James. James, you must use them for things. I know it's easy to miss, but boy, this is 10 population that's just sitting there. Guess that everybody's having a hard time suppressing these grins in cover. How's the Nebo Alpha doing? 6 kills? Okay. You know, that's not bad. No, those are hard to use. They are hard to use. So, I can respect 6 kills, frankly. Alright, D crew, the AT gun with the Vet 3 sniper, leaving this here King Tiger to just do whatever it wants. Nope, just kidding. Here's the Vet 2 17 pounder. And as I always say, veterancy on AT guns is quite potent, so we need to, I mean, you need to respect 17 pounders anyway, but these guys have like extra damage or accuracy or penetration, like some of those things. I think those are like the 3 things you get for the various different bars of vet, and that's pretty valuable on an AT gun, if I'm honest. Oh, jeez Louise. Like, look at all the damage this King Tiger took, I think, from that one Vet 2 17-pounder, right? And again, it's a 17-pounder, so it's strong to begin with, but heck, this is not a good shape for a KT to be in. Right? That's the sort of thing, if you get a good pick with like a button or something and a Firefly, it's just toast. Good old Piats. Ever so reliable. Oh man, this stuff is in trouble. These Grenadiers can just mulch all of this. But they won't. Alright, well, sorry, Jamie. What's this? We have a demo team for the repair bunker. The Blitz officer is going to try to do something about it, but I mean, there's no way. He's just got a little Pioneer MP40. Gunner killed. It's always a little silly to me how the crew that's in, like the squad that's inside mans the 50 cal on the thing, but when you get the gunner killed crit, it doesn't actually kill any of the guys inside, which is good. It shouldn't, but it is silly. Alright, well, we got the demo off on the bunker. That's the main thing. Everything else would have just been gravy. So, well done. Alright, here's the Firefly plus command tank. Now, this is a very pop-intensive deployment, but it is also very strong, because the, if you can spot for it, the command tank allows the Firefly to outrange everything? Don't quote me on that. It at the very least outranges a Panther. Right? It can shoot further than it can see. There is also, as you can see, a pretty substantial rate of fire and accuracy increase as well. Nearly took out that medic with a relatively quick follow-up shot. Fireflies don't usually shoot that fast. So, I am looking forward to seeing how Whiskey attempts to use this to counter the King Tiger. King Tiger, in the meanwhile, is just being repaired by these Sturmpioneers, and these Sturmpioneers do have perfectionism repairs, which is to say they repair at 0.8 speed. 80% speed in exchange for like very little, almost no wear and tear, negligible wear and tear basically, like 0.135 or something super specific like that. Oh, we have a sniper on from Nick. How's Ix Sniper doing? He's also fine. 13 kills, 14 kills. I expect this might have been hoping for the squish on that sniper there, but 'twasn't to be. Panther from Jamim as well. I feel like that's been on and I've just not noticed it. I don't know. In any case, we're now about 2/3 in. Let's check the pop again. James, 12 out of 19. Whiskey. Still on 16 out of... 14 at 16, so he's been playing much more conservatively now. Gotta preserve his units. Gotta heal this AT gun crew, sir. Oh, this might still be on cooldown. 14 kills in the mortar, okay. Oh, here we go. Here's what we like. This is what I like. I like playing Terror, which is... Terror Officer and KCH. Knights Crossholders. Backed up by a sniper, but here comes the artillery. Get out of there, ick. Oh no. An allied officer as well with a Thompson coming to meet this here. And he does, of course, have the broken icon, which is lame, but also a retinue of riflemen. Oh man, what was that? I didn't see what that was. I was zoomed in too much, but retinue of riflemen doesn't matter when you just all die at once. Ay, ay.
German target has been knocked out.
Ooh, what was that just died? Looks like a crew weapon of some kind. Well, we got a kill with the priest. Priest isn't doing too bad, right? Not that many infantry kills, but it looks like he's been dealing with support weapons for the most part, which is good. One of those is the Terror Howitzer, of course, which is really by itself. Doesn't quite pay for itself. Priests are pretty expensive, but that's a big win. Terror Howitzers are obnoxious. Another miss from the sniper. Seen like 3 of those this game, which is more than you usually see. Oh dear, there's those. Is that a Vickers? Yeah, there's those Vickers in action. Vickers in general are just pretty good. And we lost the Terror Officer to a snipe from the Firefly plus a final burst from the Vickers. That's quite unlucky. I'd be a little bit upset at that, frankly. In any case, this Firefly now is not in good shape. It's going to be rushed by these Panthers, one of which has got the Blitz Officer inside after taking a hit or 2 from this pack gun. King Tiger, I expect, is coming in support. We've got the Sniper as well, knocking out this AT gun. Oh, look at that. Vet 3 plus the Terror Snap shooting bonus, I'm sure this has. Let's see. Yeah, it does. That's what this little icon has. It shoots faster. Is the bet. Just look at the speed of that follow-up. Although, actually, I learned recently, fun fact, the reload on the Sniper is faster than the cooldown between shots. So if you get like a really low... It's like it's randomized, right? It's like a variation in the amount of seconds it takes to reload. But the minimum on it is pretty short. So you can just get like 2 quick follow-up shots as the Sniper just sort of reload cancels and does another follow-up. I expect that's probably what that was, because that was way shorter even than snap shooting. What a pinpoint barrage on this specific location. I don't know what he was trying to get there. Maybe the Firefly? Which, oy vey, is not looking hot. I haven't seen any engineers or sappers from the Allies in a while. I suspect they might not have any left. Didn't I want to look at the pop earlier? The platoons used and just sort of forgot. I think that happened. Let's see. Nick, 13 out of 16. Jamim, 13 out of 17. Ick remains, yeah, is now all on with what looks like very little. Oh, no, I tell a lie. He's got some stuff. He's also got a medic, so that's good. We've not got no bunker to put him in, it looks like, but at least we have the man to do spot healing. Okay, so Ick has got 36 out of 40, actually, with a pretty good selection of units, if I'm honest. The Sniper, the Mortar, the Terror Mortar, an Infantry Squad, a Medic, and of course the King Tiger, which, with this being the only repairs for the King Tiger, that's not great. And there's a 17-pounder coming in position as well. But, alright, as far as being all-on goes, it's not that bad. Run Zombie, of course, is also all-on, apparently. I say, of course. What's he got? He is in significantly worse shape. He is 11 pop on with these rifle grenades that he's been very careful with. They don't really have hardly any kills. But, I mean, you can do a lot of damage with them and not get kills. That just happens sometimes. And, Piats. Countersnipe. There you go. Piats, which now there's only one from that first snipe there. And the 17-pounder, which might have an off-map coming its way after the spotting flare. But, anyway, point is, alright, great. Ix Vet 3 Sniper, dead. Run Zombie, also almost dead, just in general. So I still am not going to call this, but it does look a bit dire for Run Zombie. Here comes more artillery. We're gonna put the mortar inside of the sniper shelter half-track. Of course, we don't have a sniper anymore, so sure, why not? Makes sense. That'll save it. Here goes this 17-pounder. Odds not great for that crew in the Nebel Barrage fire. What were we doing here, Ick? What is this? What is this? Yeah, wow, Run Zombie just letting that stand there and take the damage. Alright, speaking of Run Zombie, he's got to get that P out man healed. The Allies need to hold on to every shred of anti-tank they can keep, because with these two 17-pounders here on such low health, and the enemy having artillery at their disposal, they could lose those in a pinch at any time, and then just have the Axis run over. Because look at the health in this Firefly. Right, Nebel on these. Right here. I know it just shot, but work with me. Nebel on these. All the tanks roll in. Blast the Firefly. And that's job done. Now, alright, the Panther is in rough shape. I'll give it that. The King Tiger could be doing better too. 21 kills though. Doing alright in that regard. But we've also got this armored car, right? Armored car, Blinky, right now. Could just swoop in and decrew these. Firefly's garbage accuracy against light vehicles. There are Piats from the sappers, so that is a major wrench in those cogs. But it could be done if we were bold and ostentatious enough. How's our priest doing? 12 kills? Yeah. So really right now, the Allies have just got to keep this sniper and these anti-tank assets alive. That's what I'm looking at here. Nick's still got 2 platoons left. Worst place to be. Jimmeem's got a lot left. Ick has just been sort of taking the brunt of the casualties, it would seem, as has Run Zombie. For their respective teams. Whiskey's still got 3 platoons left. Alright, wonder what those would be. Bringing the priest right up to the front. We want short travel times for barrages to knock out things. Speaking of things being knocked out, there goes the Firefly. So 1 down. Alright, this is definitely going on the pack. Goodbye. These folks, maybe. But not actually. Maybe goodbye the gun? Okay. Goodbye the gun. Alright, that is good, except for the Firefly is already dead. So, I mean, in a way, I guess that will help the Cromwell command tank have more leeway to crush things. And, hey, maybe someone has got a vehicle in reserve that we don't know about. But, well, but nothing. I didn't see whose pack that was, so I'm just considering maybe that's giving Pop to call on something more useful. If we don't have that anymore, you take the silver linings where you can find them. Anyway, some Knight's Crossholders coming on from Jimmeem, which at this stage of the game is a pretty deadly thing to have. If we can deal with this machine gun or otherwise just sort of avoid it, which this is obviously not. There's a sniper here to do it, which counter-snipe might be on the way for it. But anyway, point is, KCH, these AT assets are just toast. And as... Oh no! We were talking about Cromwell Crush. Here it is. These guys are safe, but these guys are not. These guys are in danger. I think they're going to be fine if they can get into a building. Keep moving, sir. I'm openly rooting for these because I don't like my troops getting crushed by Cromwells. Oy! Alright, wow, they're fine. Quite fortunate for Jamim. Alright, here's our other Panther. That MG emplacement is gone, so that'll open up some more maneuver avenues for the Axis. XSR losing pop, not as important in this stage of the game, frankly, but it is happening. We've got these cloaked Piats, got some good hits in on that Tiger. He's down to quarter health now. Axis have got to deal with these 17-pounders, and it looks like they don't have the Nebelwerfer anymore, which means I think these KCH are the main tool, and though they are strong, you can't just throw them into like this, for example, right? They'll take casualties to this, and you don't want to take casualties here. On the one hand, you know, you gotta commit to get results, and what they need is to clear the way for this King Tiger, which, frankly, miraculously doesn't have an engine crit being on this low health. Like, when do you ever see that? Basically never. But yeah, I mean, this is the main thing that you use these guys for, is to mop up weaker squads. It's just this blob, this mini blob of troops that's probably going to kill this Panther right now with the Piats. Or we can just miss classic Piats. This is all a problem, is the point. You know, we've had this sniper on from Nick. It occurs to me, all these ways I was scheming that we could kill these AT guns. This should have been the first one, if I'm honest. And I feel a little bit like a fool for not thinking of it, but, uh-oh, a sticky bomb. Here comes the engine crit. Immobilize in front of the AT guns! Nick, get that sniper in there, sir. Shoot the AT. Oh, no. Well, at least clear the way for your Panther. Okay, there's the second one. We're being super conservative. There's no recons in the way to counter-snipe these guys. I mean, maybe Nick is busy marking more than one thing, but I feel like the sticky was regrettable, but I feel like we could have been more proactive killing these AT guns. Oh well. Alright, well, this is definitely looking like an allied game at this juncture. I'm going to speed us up a little bit. What do we got for repairs? Regular Pioneers, machine gun, which is not repairs, obviously. And the allies still had recrews for this AT. And we got a 3-bar vet AT gun now as well from James after killing that King Tiger. Which basically, you know, as I have been yammering on about, bodes well. Or, excuse me, bodes poorly for these vehicles. 3 bars of vet, that's going to be, watch this. If it'll shoot. Okay, well, you hate when the setup and the payoff don't really line up, but, you know, just take my word for it. It's very strong. And that's why Nick is being so conservative here with it, clearly. I mean, AT guns in general, but... Alright, here's that sniper, again, right, trying to get this decrewed. Because the Allies don't have infinite troops left to recrew these guns. And they are going to have to recrew the... Oh, this truck. What's in this truck? Oh, this sniper. Watch out, sir. Okay. There's a bit of action. Let's slow it back down again. What do we lose here? A thing. A Sherman of some variety. I feel like I observed but did not process the existence of that Sherman on my screen. I think it was a regular Sherman. I don't think it was a flamethrower. I'm not sure. If you saw it, then you know. Alright. I suspected this was an 88, and it is. This might could have been brought on earlier. But the Axis don't really have a lot to defend. No, I tell a lie. We got a perfectly good MG42 here, yeah. This might could have been brought on earlier, I think. Not a backseat game. That would have been a real big help against those 17-pounders, because 88s are quite good at countering AT guns. Now, we do have the priest. That might be his reticence to bring it on in the first place, but We also have a dead priest almost certainly here. Main gun, Christ. Okay, alright. So I called it for the allies, but the Axis have brought in some units. We have the 88. It is not presently doing anything and also pointed the wrong direction, but we do have it. We also have the sniper. We also have the sniper, which can decrew these weapons. What do the allies have for, like, direct combat units, you know? I mean, they've got this MG and the AT gun, okay, great, but those are support weapons. You can't maneuver or cap with them effectively. These Piats are toast. There's nothing here to save them. We've just got the coaxial gun on the destroyed engine command tank, which is desperately trying to use flank speed to get just a little bit closer. Alright, well, Piats are alive, good for them. Trying to get the gun back on the priest. But yeah, I mean, if this sniper can deal with that AT and just keep it decrewed, that's it for the allies, probably, actually. So I did call it too early. We're not going to do that again right now. Because we've got another infamous G-Wagon. Sorry for the Discord pings there. I forgot to set us to Do Not Disturb. But, yeah, I mean this, right, as we have seen multiple times. Okay, please hush. Stand by. Alright, we're back. It's Dr. Nick ruining a cast of his own game with Discord pings. It's my fault for not muting. Let's speed up again a little bit. We're in a just sort of a little bit of a hit and run sort of sequence. I like this. Nick has dismounted the officer. One, because this Panther is in dire straits, but two, we can shoot the little MP40 on it to try to kill the men. Especially with the G-Wagon coming in here to protect him from the crush. So he's just shooting that. He's got one kill. I don't know if he had that before or not. Gotta be careful here, otherwise we might get friendly fired by that cannon, but yeah, the main effort here is just going for the crush, and I think he just has both selected. Oh, nicely played here, Nick. Well done. I still don't forgive you for pinging me while I'm recording, but that plus Jamim's very, frankly, clutch Geschützwagen coming in here was a delicious play to watch. Play of the game for me. I mean, it was pushing around helpless sappers, but it was entertaining and satisfying, so don't at me. How's our 88 doing? One kill. Okay. How's our sniper doing? 26 kills. Better. I feel like Nick has been pretty conservative with this, but, I mean, you know, we're keeping it alive. We still got one repair pioneer. Just a regular pioneer for our Panther. So at least we can, like, fix criticals. That's kind of it. Okay, let's speed us up again. More walking wounded. How is James getting walking wounded all the... But here, listen. Okay, here's my mini rant. I don't ever get walking wounded from anything. I make walking wounded stations as allies, as Axis. I get no walking wounded. Other people, like James, get all the walking wounded. I don't understand it. Anyway, here's some artillery on the 88. What do we got? This is... Wow. What is going on here? This is an observed shot, right? Like, our howitzers are more accurate, ostensibly, when you have line of sight on the target of the barrage. We had these rifle squads here, spotting, and those all just completely missed. Some of those look like they aren't actually targeting that location, but even so. Ooh, yikes, look at that. Point blank shot the 88 knocks down the building. Anyway, this is what I was talking about though. This 88, it just completely blew up that 17-pounder. Now granted, the 17-pounder nearly blew up the 88, but the point is, this sooner. That would have been really helpful. But yeah, this does look like an Allied game after all, actually. Allies just have some stuff left that the Axis don't. Including this Vet 3 AT gun. Don't know where that's been for a long time. Another sticky bomb. I never see these things coming. There's a bar of that. Well deserved for that rifleman. Watch this Pioneer with the Volksgrenadier rifle kill that guy. Oh my god, he did. Dies to the mortar. Alright. How much does Gabo have left? This is the only thing. Alright, let's speed this up. This game is over. Alright, the Battle Priest. You love to see it. It died! Very good. There goes this, but the crew is gonna get away. Which I'm okay with. I like seeing AT gun crews live.
Success on the battlefield is ours.
Yeah. Looks like they won on pop or territory. Yeah, pop. Allies have less than 20 pop here. Which is really freaking funny, because Nick actually could have run around and killed all this stuff, actually. I just sort of fast forward through this comedy, but the Allies had nothing left, really. In an Annihilation game, the Allies just won on population, because the Axis have 18 pop here, but in an Annihilation game, actually, Nick could have just done this. Nick could have overwhelmed and killed all of these things in one Annihilation. What a game. Cool. Well, well played. I just sort of fast forward past all that, but okay, neat. Thanks for watching.